Hi, and welcome to the Getting Started video for To-Do List. I'm going to give you a quick overview of the key functions for To-Do List, as well as how to create your first To-Do List once you've opened the workbook, either as a trial or a licensed user. So when you first open the workbook, you'll be presented with a number of screens to get through licensing and accept those. Once you've got through those, you'll see that there's two demo worksheets, which are to-do lists themselves, a projects one and a demos one. You'll also see there's a calendar worksheet, timeline, and dashboard. We'll look at these in a moment after we've created our first to-do list. So to create your first to-do list, you look up at the ribbon, and this is where all the functions for to-do list are accessed from. So you can add, modify, and delete to-do lists. You can customize your to-do list with the sorting, the columns, the various select lists, which I'll show you in a moment. You can add new items, delete, refresh. You can automatically schedule your items by using this option up here. And then these are the analysis functions, which we'll look at in a minute. Calendar, timeline, and dashboard we just looked at. Today's focus is a key form that gives you direct access to the things you should be looking at today, and then some setup and help options later, which you can look at. Okay, so let's get started by adding our first to-do list. So in this case, we've got projects and travel demo. I'm going to add a new list for health. Improve my overall health. Now for a list, you can actually change the colors of the heading, and this helps, we find, in identifying things and helping you know which list it relates to. You can change the fonts and all the various things that go along with it. And you can set these to whichever things you think make sense for yourself. Hours per day, this is the number of hours you're planning to work on this list. So within a particular day, these are the hours that the tasks will be used for the scheduling. And which days of the week do you plan to work on this list? In this case, all of the days of the week are set. And then the warnings, we can look at these in detail later as they come up. So I'm going to set this to be 4 hours a day, and I'm going to add my list. Okay, so that list has now been added. And you can see it's down the bottom, health. It's at the final list. It's the final point in the workbook. And now it's advised that we've got to go and change the select lists, which are for category, which is an important first step when you created your first list. So here on these lists, we have the reference, which is a standard sort of set number. Then your task descriptions, which are basically as you type them in, categories, statuses, and priorities. These are select lists. So in this case for health, these ones don't make sense, the category. So I'm just going to go and change those to say a number of things that might make sense for health. I'll go and do exercise. And I'll delete these ones that don't make sense for the standard to-do list template that gets created. And then I'll have 2 items in my drop-down list for category, and then I'll be able to sort and filter on those. So once I've done that, I'm going to leave status and priority as they are, because we suggest you do that because they're used for calculations elsewhere in the to-do list. And I'm going to now enter my first list. First item in the list, look into diet options. And I'm going to select that category, which should be here, which it is, diet. And I'm going to set the status as not started. The priority is medium. Who is responsible? We'll say me. I'm not going to set a due date, but I'm going to set some hours. So I think it's going to take me about 2 hours to do that. Now, once I'm also going to look into some exercise options. So investigate and find best exercise. And budget. And we can continue on down here for exercise. This one's also not started. You can type ahead for these things. We're going to make this one a high high priority. And I think this will take about 3 hours to look into. And as you can see, I haven't set any due dates at all for this, and nothing else is included in the calculated start date or the completion. You can also put notes in here. Now, as you've done this in this health worksheet, you can now automatically schedule these based on the sorting that's happened here. Now, to look at the custom sorting, so at the moment, this worksheet's sorted by status, category, priority, and due date. I'm just going to change that to be sorted by priority first, and it should have high, all the high ones are first, and the medium, and then it would sort down. So now I'm ready to auto schedule. So for auto schedule to work, all these items must have descriptions, plus they must have estimated hours. So I'm going to click on auto schedule, and now it's going to set the first due date for the first task. So I'm going to say, okay, well, I want to finish that first task by this Friday. So I click that, and then it will set those both in train for after each other. So obviously, this one's due date is the 19th, starting on the Thursday, that's tomorrow, and the next one starting on the Saturday, starting on the Friday, finishing on the Saturday. As you can see, only 4 hours per day, so that's why that's had to kick over to the next day. Now, just to quickly show you how that's now worked into today's focus and the various aspects or analysis that are available in the workbook. If we click on today's focus, we'll see that only items for projects demo and travel demo are visible, because at the moment we've got no task in this list that's actually working on this day. So I'll now show you the calendar view. So the calendar view gives you the view of your current month, and you can set this forwards and backwards depending on the month you want to see. And it gives you a colored-coded view of the tasks that are underway. At the moment, obviously, the demo tasks are in here. We can see the health one here that I've got set to start on Thursday the 18th that goes through until the 19th, and then the one that's starting on the 19th that goes through to the Saturday. The timeline view, similar view that you have for that, but you can see it when within the period that they exist, and then the dashboard. So the dashboard gives you an overview of all your lists, showing you the completions, the things that aren't started. You can focus in on a particular list. In our case, we just have obviously 2 items that are not started. If we wanted to look at demos by themselves, and they filter. So hopefully that's given you a quick demo of what to expect with To-Do List. Please reference all our other help information on the website and through the help functions up here in the ribbon to give you more details on how to get the most out of To-Do List.